Okay, so now we're going to go ahead to the second part of our family creation, which is actually adjusting and modifying the existing family from Revit. And then from that, going to go ahead and straight away continue to the final part of our Revit clinic, which is modeling for electrical system. So for that, I'm going to go ahead to create new family using electrical deformatrix.rte and click on open. Make sure you use create new project and then you can click on OK. So in here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to insert a link Revit architecture. So here I'm going to locate my file. Okay, so architecture.rvt and click on open. So usually when we first start our project, of course we're going to go ahead and create the level and grid using copy monitor, but for this part of our presentation I'm going to skip that and go ahead straight to our ceiling plan. So if you guys remember, when we start our project just now, we use electrical deformatrix. So if you go into our system tab here, and then you go into this electrical panel, you will see that some of these tools have been loaded with family. For example, if I go into lighting fixture tool, you can see that it has one family loaded into it. So I'm just going to use whatever family that we have here. So here I have M plane recessed lighting fixture. I'm going to use the 600 times 1200 here. And then for some of electrical equipment, you will see that you will have this method of placement up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and explain it one by one. So first we have place on vertical face. This is for things that you will put on your wall. For example, here if you have a wall embedded to your wall, I mean your lighting fixture that embedded to your wall, or if you have any electrical equipment, for example your distribution board and so on. So next we have our place on face. This is for the things that are going to be on your ceiling or any horizontal ground. And then lastly we have place on work plane. So this is a special case. For example, if you want to put in your sink, but in the architecture model they do not have the tabletop or anything, so you can create a simple work plane and put the sink onto your work plane first. Okay, so for here, because we wanted to put our lighting fixture on the ceiling, so we're going to use place on face. So here again you can actually use your space bar to rotate your lighting fixture. So I'm just going to put it here first. Okay, so if we click on this lighting fixture, you will see that we have this control point right here. And if you go into the 3D view, you should see that this lighting fixture is somehow shaped like this. So if I use fine and shaded, you will see that it looks something like this. So this one is your link architecture Revit tadi. So this is your family, and then you will see in your control panel here, if you right click, you only have the option to create power circuit and add to circuit. Okay, so this happen if you see here, we also have this power and switch on the bar here. So this happened because we have the electrical connector in the lighting fixture. So what if for example you have the requirement to actually model for conduit? So this is when you have to put in the conduit connector into your lighting fixture. So that is what I want to show you now. Okay, so what you can do is you can always go for edit family. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit this family. Okay, so this is the 3D view of your family. It might be looking a little bit confusing because all these shapes that we do not understand. So what you can do is that first you need to understand that this is your the surface. Okay, so our lighting fixture is somewhere located in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide this surface first. So I'm going to use this temporary hide and isolate. So I'm going to hide element. So goes for this light source. So this one pun I akan hide. So this is actually our lighting fixture. And as I mentioned earlier, so this is your electrical connector. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead to create and then pick conduit connector. So for conduit connector, we have two type of it. First is individual connector and the second is surface connector. So now I'm going to use the surface connector. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pick the surface that we have up here. Okay, so this is our conduit connector. So now you can see there is an arrow that pointing up. So if you click on those arrow, you can see this is actually a three-dimension plane. So what you can do is that you can flip the arrow downwards, just like here. Okay, so I'm going to explain later why did I flip the arrow. Okay, now without further ado, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to load this back into the project. Okay, and then here we're going to use override the existing version and its parameter value. Okay, from here, now as you can see right here, first you always have this create system, because like I mentioned earlier, because we had our electrical connector. And now what happened is that if you right click, you can see that you now have the option to actually draw conduit from face. How does this work? So first you need to create your section view. So I'm just going to put my section here. Okay, then double click to go into the section, and then from here you can actually see that now you have one additional connector here. You right click and then you can draw conduit from face. So here is your draw conduit from face. You can actually choose where you want the points start to be, so you can actually put it just in the default center, or you can actually move it around. So I'm just going to put it in the center and then click on finish connection. And now you see you have the option to actually create the connector. So I'm just going to create the conduit. So here you can see that if you look into the 3D view, you have your conduit like that. So of course this is a little bit big, so if you want to change, you can always do so. So that is on conduit. And remember just now we flipped the arrow to be downward. So this is because I'm just going to go ahead and show you one more time. So when we draw conduit from face, okay, finish connection, you see that the conduit is actually going up. If you do not flip, you will actually go down, okay, default by default. So I'm just going to show you this one more time. And then for conduit, right, you can always change the diameter as per what you want it to be. Okay, so that conclude on the conduit part. So here we're going to continue into modeling for electrical system. So with that, I'm going to just copy this lighting fixture onto some other part of the room. So here you can always click on the lighting fixture and create similar, and then place on face, and then just put it along the room again. Okay, I'm just going to put it here, 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 and in this room that I have here. Okay, so first thing first, you want to actually create an electrical circuit. So what you can do is that first you need to have your distribution board in your project. So for distribution board, we're going to go ahead to system, electrical equipment, and then scroll down for your panel board. So now I'm going to use the M lighting and appliance panel board 208V MLO for 100 ampere. And then for panel board, of course, it's going to be located on your wall. So I'm going to stick into place on vertical face, and again just bring it into your wall area. And now you can see that if I put it here, that means I'm actually putting it in my wall. So I'm going to click on spacebar, just like that. Okay, so for your panel board, what you can do is that you can actually click on your panel board and give it a panel name in the properties panel. So what happened if you guys have multiple panel board in one project, so what you can do is that you can differentiate one panel board to the other using this panel name. So without further ado, I'm going to show you on how you can create an electrical circuit. So it's very simple. You just click on one of your lighting fixture and then click on the power tool here. So you can see that now it has created a circuit. So you're going to edit circuit and bring in other lighting that you want it to be in one circuit. And then here in your panel, you can actually choose your panel board. And then you can choose to finish editing circuit. And I'm going to repeat the same step here. So power and then edit circuit, and I'm going to put in all those lighting that we have in the corridor panel board. Make sure it's DB1, and then you finish editing circuit. And lastly on this one, power and then edit circuit. Okay, panel 1. So what you can do now is that you're going to bring your cursor into one of those lighting that you have, and then you click on tab. Okay, so now you have the option to actually convert it into wire. So what you can do is that you can click on arc wire. So you can see that now it has a wire that actually connect all those lighting, and on the final lighting that we have going to show directly into the panel board. You can actually just click on those wire and then actually drag it to the panel board just like this, and then repeat again on this light circuit that we have here, up wire, and then sama juga for this one. You can actually just drag it. Okay, just like this one. Okay, now what we're going to do is that, of course, if we have first look into this wire, we actually wanted to know what the circuit number is. So if you want to do so, you can actually go to annotate and then type by category and just bring in your cursor onto those lighting and wire. You can see that now it can be tagged by 1. So I do not want the ladder to be there, so I'm going to untick here. So now you can see that you can actually see the circuit number. So this is possible when you use the tagging in the annotation tab. So you can see that the circuit is numbered using the sequence that you use. So tadi the first circuit that I did was on this in this room, so it's going to be labeled as 1. And then the final thing that I wanted to show you is that you can actually create a panel schedule. So in order to do that, you can actually just click on your panel board here, and then you can actually have the option to create panel schedule. I'm going to go ahead and do that using the default template. So now you see this is your panel schedule. Okay, so what if you have those circuit numbered before you actually do the project? So for example, you already plan that this room going to be circuit number 5, this room going to be circuit number 1, and goes the list goes on. So what you can do is that the panel schedule actually is the place where you can actually do so. So here you can see circuit number 1, here is circuit number 2, and then here is circuit number 3. So what happens if you want to bring the circuit into different numbering? What you can do is that, for example, for circuit 1, I wanted it to be on circuit 5, so you can actually just click on this circuit 1 and then you can actually move down. So for example, now you can see that in my ceiling plan the numbering has changed. Okay, so you can actually place around with these tools that we have up here. We have move up, move down, move across, move to. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show you. Okay, for example, if this circuit number 2, I wanted it to be on circuit 3, so I can actually move to and then simply just bring in my cursor to the place that I want. So circuit number 3. So if I look into here, this is actually have been changed. Okay, so that is all that I wanted to show you on electrical part.